Motivation that changes everything. Stop scrolling. Stop waiting. Stop making excuses. Right now, at this exact moment, your life is on pause, but it doesn't have to be. The difference between a life you settle for and a life you dominate is one thing: the decision to move, to act, to ignite your own fire. And that decision starts today. Every single day, you are faced with choices, hundreds of them. Some small, some monumental. But how often do you stop and realize that each choice is a crossroads? Most people drift through life reacting, letting circumstances, emotions, or the opinions of others dictate their path. They wait for someone else to give them permission, to hand them the green light, or to tell them that they are ready. But here's the truth. No one is coming. No one is going to hand you the life you dream about. The power has always been in your hands, and it is your decisions that determine everything. Motivation doesn't appear magically. It is created when you decide to take full ownership of your life. Every choice you make is an opportunity to either step forward or step back, and the sum of those choices defines your future. The most successful people aren't lucky, they are deliberate. They wake up every day knowing that they are the authors of their own story. When life feels overwhelming, they don't wait for clarity or inspiration to strike, they choose to act anyway. This is the essence of true motivation. The ability to make a conscious decision to move, even when the path is uncertain. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment or feeling completely prepared. Those who wait are left behind, stuck in the cycle of someday. Those who choose action, even imperfect action, gain momentum, confidence, and power. Making the right choice is not always easy. It often requires courage because the comfortable option is always right in front of you. It whispers promises of ease, safety, and familiarity. But comfort does not lead to growth, and it certainly does not lead to transformation. Choosing growth means embracing uncertainty, risking failure, and stepping into situations that challenge you. Motivation that changes everything begins with that moment of choice, the moment you refuse to settle for mediocrity and decide that your life is worth fighting for. It's also important to realize that motivation is not a constant wave you ride. It is born and reborn in your daily decision. Every time you wake up and push yourself to act instead of procrastinate, every time you choose persistence over giving up, and every time you decide to focus on what you can control rather than complain about what you cannot, you are actively creating motivation. This is the truth that most people overlook. Motivation is not a fleeting feeling. It is a habit of decision making. The more often you make choices that align with your goals, the stronger your inner drive becomes and the more unstoppable you feel. Motivation without clarity is like trying to drive a car blindfolded. You're moving, but you have no idea where you're going, and every step you take could lead you further from your goal rather than closer to it. Many people think that motivation alone is enough to change their lives, but motivation is just the spark. Clarity is the fuel that keeps the fire burning. You cannot harness your energy effectively if you don't know exactly what you are aiming for. It's not enough to say, I want to be successful or I want to be happy. You must define it, picture it, and feel it so vividly that it becomes almost tangible. When your vision is crystal clear, your actions become precise, purposeful, and unstoppable. Clarity begins with asking the right questions. What do I truly want? Why do I want it? How will achieving it change my life? The answers to these questions are not found in comfort zones or fleeting thoughts. They are discovered through deep reflection, honest self-assessment, and a willingness to confront what matters most to you. Once you uncover that why, everything else falls into place. Every decision, every choice, every action starts to align with the vision you've created. Motivation becomes a natural byproduct because when your reason is powerful enough, it fuels your drive even in the face of obstacles, doubts, or fatigue. Without clarity, it's easy to be distracted, to chase every shiny opportunity that comes your way, or to give up when the first challenge arises. But when your goal is defined, it acts like a compass cutting through confusion, fear, and indecision. You start to recognize which actions matter and which ones are wasted effort. You learn to focus intensely, not on doing more, but on doing what actually moves you closer to your vision. And as you take these deliberate, targeted actions, confidence grows, the fog of uncertainty lifts, and momentum builds. Clarity also transforms your mindset. When you are certain about your goals, excuses lose their power. Fear shrinks in comparison to your vision. The things that once held you back no longer dominate your thoughts because you are anchored by purpose. Motivation that changes everything does not come from luck or fleeting inspiration. It comes from knowing exactly what you want and why it matters so profoundly to you that nothing can stop you from going after it. The moment you commit to this level of clarity, you stop wandering aimlessly and start moving with unstoppable intention. Many people look at success and think it happens overnight, as if some magic moment suddenly transforms ordinary lives into extraordinary ones. But the truth is far more powerful and far more accessible. Success is not a giant leap. It's a series of small wins, each one building momentum, each one reinforcing belief in yourself. Every time you accomplish something, no matter how minor it may seem, you prove to yourself that you are capable. That proof compounds over time. And suddenly, what once felt impossible becomes inevitable. Motivation grows not from grand gestures, but from the consistent accumulation of small victories that remind you of your own strength. Small wins create confidence, and confidence fuels action. Think about it. When you complete a task you thought you couldn't, the feeling of accomplishment is immediate. You feel capable. You feel strong. And that feeling is addictive. It pushes you to tackle the next challenge, to take on bigger goals, and to refuse to settle for anything less than what you are capable of achieving. Every small victory is a brick, building a foundation strong enough to support your biggest dreams. People who ignore small wins often struggle with motivation because they fail to see progress. They focus only on the mountain at the end of the journey, instead of celebrating the steps that take them closer. Another reason small wins are so powerful is that they teach discipline and consistency. Motivation alone is fleeting, it comes and goes, but discipline creates a rhythm, a habit of progress that becomes unstoppable. By committing to small, consistent actions, you create a chain of momentum that carries you forward even when motivation dips. Success is rarely about dramatic, life-altering changes. It's about showing up every day, doing what needs to be done, and proving to yourself repeatedly that you are capable of more than you think. Small wins also transform your mindset. They shift your identity from "I wish I could" to "I am capable of." They remind you that you are not defined by your fears, your past mistakes, or the limitations others place on you. Every step forward reinforces your belief in your own power and resilience. Over time, these accumulated wins create a snowball effect. Momentum grows, confidence soars, and motivation becomes almost automatic because you've trained yourself to trust in your ability to succeed. In reality, extraordinary success is nothing more than a series of ordinary victories stacked over time. The people you admire, the lives you envy, they reach their heights not because they were lucky, but because they mastered the art of small wins. And now, it's your turn. Start small. Start now. Every small step you take today is setting the stage for the extraordinary tomorrow you've always imagined. So many people spend their lives waiting. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, the perfect mindset, the perfect conditions, and meanwhile, life keeps passing them by. Waiting has become a default mode for far too many, disguised as patience or careful planning, but in reality, it is fear wearing a polite mask. People wait because they are afraid of failure, afraid of judgment, or afraid of stepping into the unknown. But here's the truth. The perfect moment doesn't exist. Life doesn't wait for you to feel ready. Opportunities don't come neatly packaged and fully prepared for your convenience. Waiting is a trap that keeps potential locked inside, dreams stagnant, and life ordinary. The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who remain stuck is simple: action. Imperfect action, messy action, bold action, anything that moves you forward is infinitely more powerful than waiting for the right time. Every second spent hesitating is a second your goals drift further from your grasp. Momentum is born from movement, not contemplation. When you start, even when you are unsure, even when you are scared, you create a ripple effect that builds strength, clarity, and confidence. The moment you refuse to wait, the moment you take that first step, is the moment motivation begins to transform into unstoppable force. Waiting also feeds doubt. Every day spent postponing your dreams strengthens the voice in your head, telling you that you're not ready, not capable, or not deserving. But action, even if small or imperfect, silences that voice. Action proves to yourself that you can. Action teaches you that fear is temporary, but regret is permanent. Waiting might feel safe in the short term, but it guarantees long-term stagnation. Those who refuse to wait understand this principle instinctively. Life rewards those who act decisively, courageously, and persistently, not those who cling to excuses. Taking action doesn't mean you will never fail. It means that you will learn, adapt, and grow faster than anyone who waits for permission. Every step you take, every attempt, every risk builds resilience. Motivation thrives when you take responsibility for moving forward, instead of waiting for the world to hand it to you. Waiting is passive. Action is active. Waiting keeps you small. Action expands your potential. And the most important truth of all, the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to start. The more you delay, the heavier the weight of hesitation becomes. So today, not tomorrow, not next week, choose movement. Choose to act even when the moment feels imperfect. Momentum doesn't wait, and neither should you. Every step forward, no matter how small, chips away at fear, silences doubt, and brings you closer to the life you were always meant to live. Motivation is not created in isolation. It is contagious. The people you surround yourself with, the books you read, the content you consume, and the environment you inhabit all have a profound impact on your mindset and your drive. If your world is filled with doubt, negativity, or people who do not believe in growth, your spark will dim. Every negative comment, every skeptical glance, every excuse you hear reinforces fear and hesitancy. But when you intentionally immerse yourself in an environment that inspires, challenges, and motivates, your energy grows exponentially. You become a reflection of the influences you choose to let in, and those influences will either propel you forward or hold you back. Think about it. Have you ever been in a room with someone who radiates confidence and energy? Their presence alone elevates your own mood, your focus, and your determination. Now imagine being surrounded consistently by people who push you to be better, who expect excellence from themselves and from you. That environment doesn't just inspire, it transforms. Motivation becomes automatic, because it is no longer a solo effort. You are being lifted by the momentum of those around you. Conversely, being in a room full of cynics, complainers, or people stuck in mediocrity will drain you faster than any obstacle ever could. Motivation is fragile when it relies solely on internal willpower, but it becomes unstoppable when it is reinforced by your surroundings. Books, podcasts, mentors, and experiences also shape your drive. Every time you consume ideas that challenge your perspective, teach you new skills, or push your limits, you are feeding the part of yourself that wants growth. Motivation that changes everything is built not just on desire, but on continuous exposure to influence that expands your thinking. If you want to be inspired, you must intentionally curate your inputs, because inspiration does not appear randomly. You must seek it, surround yourself with it, and allow it to shape your habits and decisions. Moreover, the right environment and influences push you out of your comfort zone. They confront you with questions you don't want to answer, challenge you to do things you think are impossible, and demand that you rise to a higher standard. That friction, though uncomfortable, is essential for growth. Motivation thrives when there is challenge, when there is accountability, and when there is expectation. If you want to ignite a fire that changes everything in your life, you cannot do it alone. Seek those who reflect the life you aspire to, and let their energy pull you forward. Your environment is not a backdrop, it is the soil in which your motivation grows. Choose it wisely, and your life will transform faster than you ever imagined. Every setback, every failure, every no you encounter is not the ender. The road it is fuel. Too many people see pain as punishment or misfortune, but the most successful motivated people see it as information, as a teacher, as raw material for transformation. Life is not designed to be easy, and motivation that truly changes everything doesn't come from comfort. It comes from learning to turn pain into power, disappointment into determination, and challenges into opportunities to rise stronger than ever before. When you understand this, every difficulty becomes a stepping stone, every obstacle a ladder to growth. Pain has a unique way of clarifying priorities. When you are forced to confront hardship, you are forced to confront yourself. The beliefs you hold, the limits you accept, and the courage you possess. It exposes the cracks in your mindset and reveals where you have been holding back. Most people shrink from this truth. They allow pain to define them, to keep them stuck, and to make excuses for inaction. But the difference between ordinary and extraordinary lives is perspective. Those who transform pain into power see challenges as opportunities to prove their strength, to refine their skills, and to strengthen their resilience. They do not complain about what has happened. They take it and use it as a launching pad for action. Every failure carries lessons if you are willing to look for them. Every no you hear, every goal you fall short of, every mistake you make is a mirror reflecting what you need to improve, what you need to let go of, and what you are truly capable of. Motivation is forged in these moments. It is tested, shaped, and hardened by adversity. Comfort cannot create lasting drive, but when you learn to harness pain, you turn it into an unstoppable force. You stop seeing challenges as barriers and start seeing them as opportunities for growth. Furthermore, transforming pain into power requires mindset mastery. It requires you to stop blaming circumstances, stop waiting for things to be fair, and stop letting setbacks dictate your trajectory. It requires taking responsibility for your life and realizing that every moment of discomfort is an invitation to grow. The more you practice this, the stronger your inner drive becomes. Challenges no longer intimidate you, they energize you. Failures no longer discourage you, they motivate you to refine, improve, and act with more precision. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Your response, your decision to use it as fuel, is what changes everything. The most powerful people in history, the people whose motivation and drive inspire millions, did not achieve greatness because life was easy. They achieved greatness because they learned to take every hardship, every setback, and every disappointment and convert it into fuel for relentless action. If you want motivation that changes everything in your life, start by looking at pain, not as your enemy, but as your teacher, your motivator, and your secret weapon. It is the fire in which true power is forged. Motivation that changes everything is not something that comes to you. It is something you create. Every day, you are faced with choices, and each choice is an opportunity to either move closer to your dreams or drift further away. The moment you decide to take ownership of your life, you activate a chain reaction of action, confidence, and unstoppable energy. Life will always throw challenges in your way, but your decisions, your mindset, and your willingness to act determine whether you rise above them or let them hold you back. True transformation begins when you embrace your power to choose and refuse to settle for mediocrity. Clarity is the compass that guides motivation. Without knowing exactly what you want and why you want it, energy and effort are wasted. When your vision is vivid and your purpose undeniable, every action becomes intentional and even obstacles become opportunities. Small wins, repeated consistently, are what turn dreams into realities. Each victory, no matter how minor, compounds your confidence, proves your capability, and fuels momentum. Motivation is not a fleeting emotion, it is the product of clarity, focus, and deliberate action taken every single day. No one achieves greatness by waiting. Waiting is fear disguised as patience, and it will steal years of your life if you let it. Action, imperfect or bold, is what creates momentum. Surround yourself with people, content, and environments that lift you higher. Challenge your limits and inspire you to be the best version of yourself. Motivation grows faster in the presence of energy, ambition, and accountability. And when you learn to harness pain, setbacks, and failures as fuel, you gain a power that cannot be shaken by external circumstances. Adversity is the fire in which the strongest motivation is forged. The life you dream of is not out of reach. It exists within your grasp. Waiting for the decision to act, the courage to face discomfort, and the persistence to keep moving forward. Motivation that changes everything is a choice you make every day through clarity, small victories, bold action, supportive surroundings, and the ability to turn pain into power. Start now. Start today. Decide that nothing, no fear, no failure, no delay will stop you from building the life you deserve. Because the moment you commit to that, everything in your life has the potential to transform. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it has inspired you to take action, embrace your potential, and start creating the life you've always dreamed of. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with someone who needs motivation today. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss life-changing content. Until next time, stay focused, stay determined, and keep pushing forward. Goodbye, and keep striving for greatness.